All right, let's see what else is happening inside pod culture. B-ball, bitches. I wonder if this is going to be blocked in all countries. It's going to suck. How am I going to fix that, you know? I mean, I know it's the 2000s, but this feels very 90s, man.
Pasa, man? ¿Qué pasa, man? You know you can't be in here, man. You can't be in here, man. You gotta go. You gotta go. Come on. You gotta go. Come on. Listen, Chubby's, he's a, you know,
We're in a p.o.d. documentary now.
just being locked up in this music industry for a few years now, it's cool to just get some new insight with Jason. And Jason's been, it's funny because, I'm talking to Jason, like, I wanted to get a balance, and I was like, hey, yo, we've been in the fire for the past 4 years, and he's like, that's cool, man, because I've been in the desert, and I love that saying because, he's like, man, I've been in the desert just focusing my life and getting things straight, and it's such a good balance to have Jason come in the mix and just give us a new perspective, and not only is he completely talented and he's like next level musically on the guitar, just his, his spirit.
I'm getting distracted by his pants.
And even just his brotherhood it means something. And
Are they made out of like
I think
fucking
for us, the last album, everything was
like what tents are made out of?
For us, and a lot of times we burn ourselves out just working too hard. But
What's up with his underwear?
because everything that we're doing now, we get to.
I think that has to be his underwear, right? Unless it's just a really low shirt he's wearing underneath his Puma.
Set, and we're just like, cool, where's the coffee, And Jason was like, dude, this is a video set. This is tight. This is crazy. And so just to see it from his eyes, he's like, you know what? This is crazy, man. I'm grateful,
Yeah.
I don't ever want to get jaded to the point where it's like you take things for granted, but it's like, man, we're gonna go to Europe, and before I was like, I don't want to go back to Europe, but now it's like, man, I can't wait to go to Europe. He's going over there for the first time. He's gonna go to New Zealand, Japan, Australia for the first time, so we get to
Like
relive it all over again.
some
Not just
very
take it as a
thin
job, not
khakis.
just take it as, I gotta do this, and you just, man, every day is a gift, and I think we're just enjoying it a little bit more, recognizing that.
Music started from day one, surrounded by
shit.
it in my family. Then on, started playing guitar when I was about 12, and spoke it better than I speak English. So obviously, when you're a teenager, you're all rebellious and you want to play the heavy music. Zeppelin and Sabbath, probably first two. Somebody tried to get me to buy a Kiss album, but that just wasn't my thing. We got into the classical world, did the flamenco style and Spanish style guitar playing, and then the jazz and
Not the jazz.
fusion. And that whole world opened doors into music I didn't know existed, and got into some Pat Metheny and Kaki, and I got turned on to Phil Keggy, who came and did a track with us on this album, which was pretty awesome. Now, if it's good, I like it. There's no boundaries. Not a big country fan though. Well, I started playing guitar when I was about 12, and it made sense immediately. And so music was the language. So then I started picking up piano and drums and really anything that made racket. And I got my hands on it. We made it talk. So Living Sacrifice was it wasn't the first band I was in. It was the first band worth mentioning. And we got together in '89.
Jesus.
Got signed on an independent label out of Nashville. And
How old were these guys?
Kids, 16 years old, and put out
16.
our first CD. And
You made a CD when you were 16? That's bullshit.
And then we hit the road.
Man, the days have
We
changed.
put out 4 CDs.
I really wish I would
in
have.
7 years.
Because
And
back
then,
in like
out on the road,
2008, 2010,
I
printing
ran into
CD
guys
really
at
wasn't that
p.o.d.
expensive.
We
But
toured together,
again,
and,
I had no money.
a lot of good times.
So,
When they were in our neck of the woods, they all crashed at our pad.
so if I had the
vice
if
versa. You know, I
the
was
money I
really
have
joking
now,
about
I
back in the
could
day.
have I could totally
They
have
always talked
done
about taking on a second
fucking done
guitarist.
and the confidence
Jason, you know, you'll be the guy.
now to
But
actually be
anyways,
able to do it. You
things
know
weren't
what?
cracking with,
What a shame.
Sacrifice, and I stepped out of the picture for a little while and started a company in Little Rock, and I just taught music. Theory side of music and teaching music is something I love because it applies to every part of your life. So I kind of miss that a little bit, but anything I can get to do along the way to help someone pick up an instrument, try something out, I'm all for it, especially like keeping music in public schools and programs that get kids started on music they couldn't have started on their own or maybe not been able to afford it. If you get an opportunity to hop in and play something, it'll change your life in a lot of different ways, and you never know how it'll end up. And then the p.o.d. guys gave me a buzz, and here we are. So we're going to see what happens. 2 Corinthians 5:17.
Wait, I know that one.
You're a new creation. That all old things passed away, and everything's become new.
I know Austin 316.
Riding the record. I came straight out of Little Rock, Arkansas, for those of you that don't know. And I strolled straight up into San Diego, where it was just a whole new world. But it was a great world. You pull up and you got the tribal warehouse with all the gear, and then you go through and you got a tattoo shop. And you go through, and then there's our jam room where we wrote the new stuff, and where we'll be rehearsing. And then you go back, and they've got the low riders. They're getting decked out, and all the walls are tagged, and watching that artwork get done. It was a beautiful experience, and you get your pool tables there where I can take everybody's money. It just was a great atmosphere to get in and be grounded and write from your heart. If anyone's out in San Diego and you get a chance to come by, you'll see what I mean. Good stuff. Are we done? Is that it? Did you get enough? I'm sure you did.
What's up, everybody? We're p.o.d. right in the heart of San Diego. Right now, writing our new record called Payable on Death. And we did it at the homie spot, Tribal Warehouse, because this is where all the flavor is. This is where we get inspired.
This is going back.
Kick it. So we're going to take you on a little adventure through Tribal Warehouse.
Back in time.
First off, we're going to show you this little birdhouse right here.
Ever since Jason came from little town of Little Rock, he's been hooked on Mexican food, so he's down at the shop.
Every break that we get, he's down at freaking Rico
So,
Burgos,
even though this is like a PS2 disc,
El Gordo.
can you play this stuff on a regular DVD player?
Food on right now, so he's not here with us. First things out, we was freaking piranhas, dude, getting crazy up in here. Don't even put your finger in there, dude, because they'll snap it right off, dude. It's a cruel world. It's a cruel world. Beaky beakies.
Is that Andre the Giant Obey? I missed it.
This is where Trey spends most of his time with writing records.
Writing bass lines and whatnot. Right there, bro. Inspiration, my brother. Bass lines get real funky, man.
Coming through here. But check this out.
Yeah.
Right here. We got to get into
That,
because Travis
that's
been down
old, isn't
since
it?
day one. You know what I mean?
It's that
This is
old.
my boy Carl's office. You know what I'm saying? One of the kingpins. Oh no! Another freaking p.o.d. flag. What is cracking? Check this out.
He's mad flex, bro. Hey, he's got a slot machine.
Keep it rolling, what?
Tribal wins again.
King Columbus, Bobby Big Things.
Bobby, I don't know what you're talking about. This is all the art over here. Look at this. Surrounded by everywhere. Art everywhere. Art on the wall.
Art on the floor, art on the walls.
The T-Star, he had it made out of stained glass.
That's cool. That probably got destroyed.
Some heavy business. Or if we come through
I
and say,
mean,
hey, Bobby,
that's-
you know,
that's a fucking
some
cool
teas, dog. Is it
idea.
cool for the warehouse, dog?
Probably a real fucking expensive one.
Good, dog. Whatever you
It's all
need.
good, dog. We need
They just give people money.
big things, big things. Dog,
Well, I guess this is when they're getting big though. So the record companies, you know, they get most of that money.
Earth is humble and straight. We got art everywhere. Look at. So this is Bobby Big Things. Just check it out, man. We got everybody in here.
Look at it all, man.
Look at that, dude. That's a beautiful
You
thing.
know about this?
Yeah, show that.
You know about that, dog?
Show the toes, dude.
They don't be getting the toes, dog.
Got some boxing gloves? Yeah. See, this is the thing. This is the thing. Up here in travel, dude, it's like it's not just clothes. Everybody gets their train on. You know what I'm saying? Slow down. Be humble.
If you do it wrong, you can fuck up your shoulder,
If someone wants to get beat down, they're gonna get handled. Bottom line.
which is what you want to do when you're a musician, right?
Peacemakers, but you know what I'm saying? Step up your, become face breakers.
See how crooked that back is? That was from hours.
These guys are trained for professionals. What?
Look at this. This is the top floor. Now we're gonna roll downstairs. This is the vault we're going to. And basically, you clothing and apparel companies that think you was OG. Check this out, dog.
Oh, dude, I need to get some jerseys.
Look at this old school stuff right here, man. They kept one of everything back
It's
in
like
the
an
day.
old bank that got turned into a recording studio.
Ghetto, this is ghetto style Lee up in here. Look at that. 1, 2 colors at the most.
Yeah,
This goes down the line.
I was in like a
Big things, San Diego, big things.
behind the scenes lore.
There's a lot of
Okay,
stuff straight up. And to be in business for a long time,
One of
doing
the
thing
banks,
is innovative because
I was
a lot of
familiar
companies come
with.
up and fall off, you know what I mean? But travel sticks to the street. And
They
stick to
also
what
had
they
a
know,
vault that they
and that's
kept
homie style,
office
and that's
supplies
just
in
being
since the
real.
money was
Bottom
no
line.
longer
We're
there.
talking smack because you know what? Some people get locked up in this piece for
Never
days.
get seen again.
Laters, dog. I'm all about the sun, you know what I mean?
Writing a record's hard work?
It's a tough job. I mean, you know what I'm saying? Someone's got to come down to freaking Mexico and eat the lobster, dude, you know, and get inspired.
I want to experience it firsthand. That way I can share the love.
What do you think about Mexican inspiration?
Oh my gosh.
Keeping it real.
Only half hour away from home, but I feel a million miles away.
Someone's got to do
What are we
it.
doing? What are we doing? We doing big things or what? We doing big things?
Get up in this dude's ear, dude.
De 19 la tengo ahora en $14.
Fuck?
Esa, para todos.
Bracelet.
I need some jumping beans.
What
homie.
bugs are those,
We
man?
should be in the studio writing a record right now, but instead we're down in freaking fucking level having lobster.
Good shot, dog.
Those are lobsters?
Doing big things, dog.
Where are they? They still. Oh, they went to Mexico? Is that what that thing said? Mexico inspiration.
My parents used to always have these wild parties and stuff at the house when we was young and have their friends over. I used to just go to sleep listening to all this different music, R&B and stuff like that. So that was my first real strong introduction to it, is that my parents just had it around the house a lot.
My dad, my mom and dad were so young when they had me. You know, they were 15 when they had me, and so they were kids themselves. You know what I mean? And the music that they listened to was, my dad's an old hippie, man. He liked the old rock and roll stuff.
I think I first noticed music from all the wild parties my family used to throw when I was just a kid. They used to have crazy parties and they were into like Led Zeppelin, AC/DC, just hearing the classic hits, you know,
Yeah.
playing in the room. And like I said, I come from a young family, so they were mostly into rock music.
We used to plan these long vacations and stuff like that. We used to sit in the car for hours. They had like an 8-track tape player, and it's like I remember listening to all these old songs like Marvin Gaye and Earth, Wind and Fire and Stevie Wonder, Minnie Riperton and stuff like that for hours, man. And it's like, you know, it was just, that was my first introduction to actually having music like hammered into your head. You know what I'm saying? Because you didn't have nothing to do back then but listen to music when you're driving long distances.
And then, you know, of course, when you're growing up and you're in, you know, junior high and high school, all the hip hop stuff that came out, you know, the Run DMC and the Beastie Boys, Ill Communication, and all the breakdancing that went down.
These guys are a
I was
lot
never
older
really,
than
like,
me, man.
breakdancer, or I never really got into pop because I love rock and roll so much, but I always like appreciated the hip hop culture and the hip hop music, and I always took a liking to it, even though reggae and the rock music stuck to me a little more. But throughout the years, you know what I mean, you just learn to expand your taste to all different types of music, and you know, hip hop to this day is one of my favorite music as well.
I started listening to a lot of Parliament, Funkadelic, stuff like that. I remember my first Bootsy Collins album was you opened it up and it had these Bootsy Collins glasses.
Shaped like stars.
They look like stars.
That was bad, wasn't they? I listened to a lot of like really hardcore funk and stuff like that, and jazz.
That's
And, soon after that, I started
records
really
were cool.
developing an interest for, music. Yeah, I started playing saxophone when I was like in the fifth grade.
Yes, the sound is better, but
Playing
also the
gospel stuff,
packaging
records,
was
stuff like that,
cooler.
on
Is the thing.
saxophone and whatnot, so.
It's
You
kind
know
of
what
like
inspires
Laserdisc,
me the most
where
would,
the packaging was cooler. However, the video quality is not going to be.
Three
It was a lot better than VHS and
musicians that
beta
have inspired me. I've listened
and
to a few of them.
and
Phil Keaggy was a big influence.
fucking
because
video
I heard
disc.
some of his guitar
It had
riffs
like the
and
cool
songs.
packaging like records had.
He wasn't
However,
a
records,
guitar
they
guy
still have better
grabbed me.
sound than you're going to get through almost
And I knew
99% of
that's
your
what I wanted
digital
to do.
means these days.
And I still
Like
listen to his
a lot of
music
stuff
today.
still just uses like MP3 level fucking
Obviously,
you
the
know,
jazz
brush and
influence,
shit.
Wes Montgomery, the heavier influence.
And you
the
mean you don't get
Japanese
any
sound.
packaging with that,
Those
so
are probably
it's
the biggest.
no cool
hardcore
shit,
influences.
nothing
musicians that are
no
up and going
additional
right now.
artistry,
I
as it
think,
were.
Keaggy, Matheny, Kottke, guys like that are pretty strong influences, believe it or not, and it comes out in a different flavor when you're in
What's
a
he talking
heavy
about?
band.
And I love rock and roll music. It's like that's a part of me that will never go away. The only really bands that I'm feeling right now is probably like the Deftones, just because they do their own thing. You know what I mean? And there hasn't really been any other bands that's really hit me or stuck with me like the old classic rock bands like AC/DC. You know what I mean? Like the Led Zeppelin and like the Cheap Tricks and the Cars, the bands that first came out doing their things. Those are the bands that really like inspire me. And every other weekend we would go to this place called Spanky's in San Diego, like in Mission Beach, San Diego, where they would have all the dope reggae bands play. And ever since we were little kids, we would go see, Steel Pulse and Gregory Isaacs and Mighty Diamonds and Black Uhuru and Pato Banta and Ika Mouse, all these like reggae legends that would come into San Diego because San Diego was a pretty hot spot for reggae music.
A friend of mine in school, his name was Arthur Pack, and we played in a band together and stuff like that. And, I was also a drummer too, but he was playing this song from this band called Slave, called Slide. And I remember it was like the baddest, funkiest thing I'd ever heard. He was just like tearing it up in a room, and I was just like, mesmerized watching him do all this slapping and popping and stuff on this bass. But after dealing with him and Slave, he introduced me to a whole nother group of bands like Confunction and Lakeside, and, Rick James, all like really hardcore like funk stuff. After being introduced to all of those other funk bands, man, I started listening to like Cameo. And Cameo back in the day, I don't know if you guys know, they was probably one of the funkiest bands out. It was a song called
Yeah, man.
First bass lines I learned. My roots.
It's kind of weird. Like all the bands he's listening there, I'm familiar with, but it's just kind of weird the contrast.
Bands like the Police, they brought out kind of a reggae sound, and my dad was into reggae music, and on my dad's side of the family, they were all into reggae music. And just growing up as a kid, I remember listening to Bob Marley, and there was bands like the Twinkle Brothers and Black Uhuru and Steel Pulse that I remember listening to. Dennis Brown, Freddie McGregor. The vibe is cool. The lyrics were always positive. Well, not only reggae music, but I was more into more of a soulful type music. And I love rock and roll music, but I was more into hip hop music and reggae music. I think mostly just for the culture. And but now, like, whatever's out there, if it's hot, I'm feeling it. I like to go to live shows. Nowadays it's just like I just keep my ear to the streets and whatever's cracking.
What's up, everybody? And one of the reasons why we decided to come here is there's so much art and diversity in here.
Inspiration.
A lot of inspiration. A lot inspired by a lot of these people like Seek, Chaz, Dime, Big,
Yep. Who else? So many others.
Shepard Ferry.
Andre the Giants everywhere.
Sodak. Throwing some mad pieces down here. Cartoon, Abel. I mean, all these people that are just like been putting it down from day one. The originators of graffiti. You know what I'm saying? Some of the people, big names, big things. But it's like these people just do it from the heart. You know what I'm saying? It's like when we wrote this record, it's like that's what we wanted to feel. We wanted to bring it back to roots. But like I said, like all around this place right here, there's art everywhere. You know what I mean? We get to
Not to mention the hard.
Is there a point where someone wants to not bring it back to the
right
roots?
here in National City off of Home Avenue, just chilling.
All right, this is intense so far. Fucking p.o.d. documentary, 3-parter. All right, let's do this. Let's go further into culture. with part 2. I remember this being a hit. Is this just gonna be the whole fucking song? That's really gonna get me fucked. What the fuck, man? Oh shit. Yeah, I'm fucked now, man. You know, I boot this up. I think it's just gonna be, you know, like a Amplitude demo. Instead, it's a fucking p.o.d. documentary.
This is where we're doing the lolos, we're doing the cards, we're doing the tattoos. This is where the b-boys practice. This is where the artists display.
This is where the record got written.
This is where the record got written.
Which fellas all work right here. We got Brisky Waters up in here. Abel, everybody knows Abel. Everybody knows Zodak. Dime up in here. C.
DJ Cutfather on the wheels of steel.
Bunch of people I do not know. Look at her go, man. Who the fuck are these people? The culture is breakdancing. I wonder what it's like to be able to party all the time. Well, I guess, I mean, I'm sitting here watching this. Does that mean I'm a part of the party, right? What?
This Jose from Straight Clownin', Tribal, y'all up in here.
But let me show you how we do it right here in San Diego on the south side. Let me show you the guts. Let me show you the guts. I'm about that 348 tri-power. And I do drive her, yes. Let me show you what you got, bud. Let me show the world. We kept all the original moldings on her. We gave her the nice resin flake. We did the custom interior. We got the swivel seats. We got the custom steering wheel. We got the custom headliner. We got
Jesus
the
Christ.
Interior. Oh God, what do we got? Some cruiser skirts. We got the original. We got some Davies on there. Not that other imitation. The D.
This is a bit flashy, isn't it?
The OG 1956 license plate with the 1958 original sticker and the crush.
Check it out.
Feel it, feel it. Ain't nobody ever seen this. Look where the hydraulic pumps are at. That's enough. You want to see more? Come see it at the show.
So, like, I guess, you know, people who ruin arcade games in the past must have ruined cars, huh?
This is where all the B-boys and graffiti, lowrider cars are at, and this is where p.o.d. does our thing.
Ooh, bomba clap. Dude, that was some clap on stuff, dude. Bomba clap. I gotta burn these songs. No, for Jason, because he's going back to Little Rock.
It's official.
That's a piece right there, dude.
Yeah, dude, 4 hours, dude. That was perfect.
That looks sick.
Yeah.
Yeah, Mike did a good job, dude.
What the fuck is going on?
We need to keep that rolling, dude. One more time. Everyone goes back here. You want to keep going?
It's just as individuals, you know, we have our own personal faith, and that's something that's big in our life, and it just tends to come across in our music. You know, we have a balance in our life, and we're definitely believers in God, and you know, we write rock and roll music for a living, and we just don't talk about negative things. We don't talk about, you know, depressing things. We're more of an uplifting band, and you know, music is a blessing. It is a gift from God, and when we get together and we write, it just tends to come out. You know, we're happy.
We're always
lucky
in good
guys.
mood when we do. I think every band needs to grow. You know, we can't stay the same way as our album cannot be the same as it was last album. You know what I'm saying? And I think as a band, it's you know, our duty, you know, to each other and to our fans and stuff like that, to, you know, give them what they're used to hearing, but still to grow, progress. Because the fans that we had 11 years ago are 11 years older than they were then, and so are we. So, you know, we have to grow. It's still the same p.o.d. though. It's just aggressive.
And the
Beautiful
obvious
and
too,
everything else.
with the new guitar player, that just changes up everything. With Jason's style and, you know, just the melody and the passion that he has in his guitar, it just, you know, pushes us to grow and to even try different things. And hopefully with this record we can find ourselves musically. And we've always been a band about hope, about love, you know, our personal beliefs, and the respect that we have for our faith and what it means to us. By no means do we ever go out there, you know, with a vengeance and try to push our beliefs on anybody, but if people see that, you know, when we play and they see that in our lives personally, then it does affect people. And, you know, I think with the heart and the passion that we do put into
Oh,
our
I don't
music,
know what the fuck's going on
people that listen
anymore.
to it, it's just not like, yeah, rock on. It's like, you guys are deeper than that.
I take like a 10-minute break, and
we're all about that. So I think
I start. I mean, there was not. I mean, all like every single bit is like midway through. They did the interviews. That really suffice. I don't know what the fuck's going on anymore. p.o.d. culture is like, I don't know.
That's a good thing if they don't.
Party and I guess praise Jesus.
You know, it's like the same way we respect other bands about, you know, all the crazy stuff they want to talk about. I think the bands give us that same respect back. You know what I mean? I think when people see us, they're like, hey, you know what? I might not agree with what p.o.d. is talking about. I might have a whole different religion, or they might have a whole different outlook. But I think they see the passion, and I think they match that with the intensity, and they know that's what's fueling us, and so they have no choice but to respect us.
I'm watching this, and I'm becoming an old man. And these guys are like twice my age, and I'm looking at them and I'm thinking, you fucking kids.
I mean, you'll see that. You'll see the growth that we have on this album are totally different than we have the last album. You know what I mean? With this one, it's like we just, with the Satellite record, we went through like a two-year whirlwind of touring the world and nonstop, you know, being away from home. And I think for the first time in years, we actually got a chance to sit back in San Diego here and kind of look and see all the blessings that came our way and see all the amazing things that we got to do and kind of take our time. And then, you know, with the guitar player change, that was a whole other set of emotions that we went through, you know what I mean? So as soon as we played our first note, you know, for the Matrix thing, it was kind of like just like a whole new beginning.
So like all their hits, I'm not a p.o.d. fan. I don't know jack shit about them. I remember them having a lot of songs really, like a lot of hits early on. And actually, I'll say, I saw them live and outdoors even, and they were actually pretty good outdoors live, which is pretty hard. Like Rob Zombie was there. That was absolutely fucking awful. Like 1 out of 10 Rob Zombie. p.o.d. I'll give them a solid probably 9 to 10 out of 10 for, you know, being like, for their ability to play outside. It's hard to play outside, and they sound real good. Even though, I mean, I'm not a fan of the music. But, like, this album was payable on death, self-titled. It's their 5th album. Let me spit some facts at you. I don't recognize a single one of these fucking songs. Because all their, like, hits were off of Satellite, which you mentioned. That was Alive, which was the big one. Or Youth of the Nation, which was the big one. I don't fucking know. Boom and Satellite, all those were big hits. All these on the sort of hard rock radio. I'm not sure which, either Alive or Youth of the Nation was the real big ones. And says that the album came out September 11th, 2001.
Bottom line, but the thing is this, it doesn't stop here. We go through here.
Same day I bought Alice in Chains Best of the Box. I've had that fucking almost 20 years now. I'm recording this before September of 2021. I don't know when I am going to edit this because this is gonna fucking murder me with the copyright.
Graffiti, tattooing, DJing, music, the whole nine. It's one package. My boy Zodak, we're gonna put him on blast because he's already on blast. Period.
Fucking Youth of a Nation was a top 40 hit. Let's see what Live was. So that's probably the biggest hit. I know that if they play a p.o.d. song, it's usually Youth of the Nation.
What's the first thing that comes to mind when you hear DMK?
Huh? Anybody that knows.
Yep, Alive just barely missed top 40.
Yeah, Michael Kellerman, we call him DMK.
I've been rolling with us for a long time, man. DMK is special.
The DM
Mike is a character, and anybody that's watching this DVD, and I was probably busting up if they know Mike, because we call him Special Mike.
The first thing that comes to my mind for reals, putting all the jokes and everything aside.
Boom was not on the Billboard Hot Charts. What about what Satellite probably wasn't either.
He's the reason why we are sane.
When we're on tour, I take care of my man's son.
I love Mike to death.
Yeah, minor hits on the rock charts, just like Boom.
Went to school with Mike
since we were in kindergarten.
He brings every single emotion to the table. And Mike's been
You could almost be considered a one-hit wonder then, right?
House a little after 18, we were all canvases for Mike to learn how to tattoo. So everybody's got a Mike Kellerman, tattoo story.
Smooth, silky legs, huh?
Since the beginning, he did dragging and stuff. You know,
He's done the dragon.
Boy.
Hooked it up.
It's like a shirt, you know. I'm gonna tattoo you're gonna wear it for life. It's gotta mean something. I'm more, dude, what kind of stuff do you like? What's in your life, you know?
Yeah.
What would you be comfortable with if you were born? What would you like to have come out on you when you were born?
Ooh,
you know? That's what I want to know.
But I honestly believe that's one of Mike's, talents and his gifts, his tattooing and his work is amazing.
During high school and right when we just graduated, this was actually the first thing he did on me. And it's funny because me and Sonny moved out. We got our own pad with a couple of friends, and my mom and dad told me I couldn't get a tattoo unless I moved out. So I moved out. Mike came in, took a quick, gave me a tat. A couple months later, I moved back home. And that happened a couple times. No. So every time I come back home, I was like, dang, you got more tattoos. What's going on? Hey, I followed the rules.
What role does Mike play with p.o.d?
Mike does everything in p.o.d, man. Whatever you need done, Mike handles it.
Okay.
It don't matter what it is. If it's from the littlest things to the big things.
He's a stress reliever, man. Whenever I'm like, I need to like just freaking strangle somebody and like go off, and I need to vent frustration, Mike is there, man.
Nice.
Waiting to be pounced on, waiting to be abused. It's beautiful, man. Every band should have the DMK.
Oh, no doubt.
Call on Mike and he's there, man. That guy will lay down his life for you.
That's just somebody that you want to kick it with all the time. Someone that you miss if they're not around. That's something that goes a long, long way. That's something that money can't buy. And so on the business side, that's what he does. He does everything we need. Whenever we need it, he's there like that. If there's one person that knows the ins and outs of p.o.d. and all the struggles and all the ups and downs, he's just the heart that keeps it pumping.
We must go to part 3.
We got tired of practicing today. We're gonna have a freaking carne asada bottom line. Are you in or you out? It's gonna be around 5. All the homies gonna be here. Listen, dog. All the homies gonna be here.
Taking a break, we can ready barbecue. Yeah. All right. A little bit.
Yeah, it's cool, man. Just cruise by. We're having a barbecue. It's all good. All right.
All the tattoos. San Diego must require you to have tattoos, man.
So, the DMK show. So one day, he's talking to this freaking bus driver, and you know what? There's only one DMK, but if anything, we found the second DMK. Dude. This guy had the same characteristics as Mike, and so the guy's like, yeah, one day I broke, broke my arm and myself. Yeah, me too. I broke my femur. And the guy's like, yeah, well, I got in a car accident. Well, I got in a motorcycle accident. And the guy's like, yeah, I got in a freaking boat accident. I got hit by a trolley. And the guy's all, dude, I had some freaking disease. Mike's like, well, I had cancer and I had radiation. Dude, they were going back and forth on who had the most tragedies in their life, dude. That's the perfect thing. Mike's always got one up on you, dude.
Always one up on the conversation.
Dude, one up on you. It doesn't matter where it is, he's got a better story.
I've been through hell and back.
Mike's got a better story than anybody, dude. Don't try to one up on Mike, dude.
Representing Southtown. Bottom line, you can't get any more south than this unless you go to TJ. So we're over here at Santa Fe Meats, getting ready to get the carne asada for the barbecue. We called all the homies up. So if you've seen MTV Cribs, you see this cooking that carne asada, the whole 9, this is where we got it. This is where we always get it. This is what we're gonna be getting for another 20 years. Bottom line. This way. It says 7 over here, dude. I got 25. That's how good this place is. Dude, check this out. Check this out. This is my favorite poster, dude. Look at that. It shows you what's really cracking. It shows you the rump, the round, the loin, the shank, the whole 9.
Pretty skinny cow.
20 pounds of the carne asada, the flap, marinated. Homies chopping it up over here, and we over here just getting the salsa, the hot carrots.
Hey, should we get avocados or what?
We get perfect line. We got menudo right here. Let me tell you something, folks. Don't knock it till you try it. I'll tell you that much. Look at this. Pig's feet over here.
Man, this is a fever dream, isn't it?
Yeah, man.
Jesus Christ. Boy, could get prices like that these days.
That's right. It was real. This wasn't fake.
Say low.
My name's Javier, San Diego Kart Club, representing San Diego,
Yeah.
Coolest,
Yeah.
Back Bumper Club.
Yeah.
And I just made up with one of my homies from way back.
This is my pops right here.
Old school. Old school.
We're old
Big
school
time.
from way
Big
back.
time. Way back. Market Street Rats.
Yeah, Market Street Rats. That's us. This is my daughter Selena.
Hit it.
This ride right here got free wheel motion.
This is our family right here, San Diego Car Club. And right off the bat, this is all natural. These aren't hired actors. This isn't front. This is live. So this ain't fake.
This Cousin Ray right here.
Cousin Ray. Bunch of cars.
Tell me about your ride.
63 Impala.
Right here, represent San Diego Car Club. Motor's all hooked up, got murals, flag, up on the battery sideways. Got the full chrome suspension on it.
Toss hit the switches, dude.
This is how we roll here in San Diego. No actors. This whole family is real proud of all the time. Making it.
This ain't no MTV video, dog. It's the real deal, homie.
We was calling up everybody. We told them straight up, there's a barbecue going on. We're writing a record. We're tired. We need to take a break.
That's right.
About that, Sonny? Good times, homie. Good times. It's all love. It's all love.
Who's your favorite singer?
Sunny.
West Side.
Are you the drummer?
Nah.
Dude, I'm the
But I
accordion.
feel it though.
See?
My drums
Spoon
here.
player, dude. Spoons.
Are you the singer? Dude, he's hard.
Check this out. Check this out.
No English.
And it's like that. That's you. That's you right there, partner.
I know that this has been highly transformative with just me here, sitting down, staring at the screen, in awe of p.o.d, I guess. I don't know how else to describe it. Not really. Let's be positive. Awe is a positive word.
Daniel, how did you get involved with p.o.d?
John Rubley from Atlantic Records contacted me. He had seen my work in LA, and I think what he saw was the emotion and the grittiness in my work was somehow gonna merge well with the emotion, power, and feeling that p.o.d was creating. So I flew out to LA, hooked up with the guys, and really felt really at home. Actually felt like I was with family, so it was a really good situation.
How did the band decide what image to use for the cover of their album?
Sonny had this image of a winged figure that his mother owned, and had a lot of meaning to him because it reminded him of his mother. So he sent it to me. I checked it out. I came up with the drawing based on that image. What's interesting about the butterfly is throughout history it's had quite a few meanings. It's represented the resurrection, and it's also represents the rebirth. So it's kind of cool that they went with the butterfly, and it just has a bunch of meanings, and I really like the idea of it meaning a rebirth.
You've been drawing symbols for each of the band members. How did that evolve?
They asked me if I would be interested in.
I'm still trying to think of how to make this work. I'm just sitting here.
Symbols play a really big role.
It's like I just want to let the man speak. God damn.
I would create, some ideas and dig deep, and they would go and dig deep in themselves, and until finally we ended up with symbols that.
What's with the tape distortion? Why is there a tape distortion effect on it? Why they put that on? I assume this is film. It could be tape, but why are they putting an extra tape distortion on?
Love, faith, and death. The idea that I got for them was to create.
It's like the Deus Ex Human Revolution of
Been around for years. So when
how the fuck did I describe this? It's a band documentary and a video game demo.
Weather them, just distress them, and just to create.
It's the Deus Ex Human Revolution of a band's promo special. What?
And they get that card. It's like they're getting something from the past. For some reason, that's kind of the trip that I'm on with my art. I have this connection to the past, and I feel that everything that I do artistically, I try to really capture the spirit and the mysticism of the past. So it's a deep connection with me. One thing that I'm really trying to do for p.o.d is to create something that 10, 20 years from now they're going to be happy with. So I want to try to create something classic that's going to withstand the test of time. p.o.d's music has so much depth and power, and
and struggle and life in it, and those are the kind of things that I always look for in my artwork. So I think it was a really great connection that we're working together, because it seems like we're seeking the same thing. The guys wanted something beautiful for the cover, so I used my wife Paula as a model.
What a flex. Okay, so we're done here, I guess.